Hi, I'm Lee Love, and today we're going to be talking about color spaces and color gamut, typically referred to as sRGB and RGB. I'm going to try and break that down for you and make it as simple as possible so you understand which mode you should be shooting in. The question really originated from Victor Nicholson, and Victor asked Adobe RGB or sRGB, which color space to choose while shooting. And it's a great question. It's kind of a complex question. The more you dive into it, if you want to really get your geek on, there's all kinds of information about this, and certainly people that know a lot more about it than I do. But I wanted to try and address it at least briefly and give you some simple ideas about what it is and when to shoot in which mode. So, first of all, there are every device has a color space. In other words, like if it's a camera, your DSLR, mirrorless camera, your monitor, your printer, all these devices manage color just a little bit differently. So to be able to make sure they match, there's something that was developed called a color space or a gamut. Now, I'll show you what that looks like. That is, looks something like this. And this was actually developed in 1920, but was adopted in 1931. And it really is a kind of a chart that represents the perceived colors that a human can see, that the eye can see. And it was developed by, or was adopted by International Commission on Illumination. Now, that's probably right there, probably more than you really want to know uh, already. And I don't blame you. So, anyway, so the idea, though, is that there has to be a way to measure these colors that can come out of an electronic device or actually a printer as well. So you use this color space or this gamut to define that. So again, let me kind of show you what this looks like. If you go to, let's see here, I think this is it right here. Yeah, okay. So if I bring this up. So this right here is there's the three color spaces that are or four really you're going to be familiar with or you're going to need to deal with. One is called Pro Photo, and Pro Photo has the widest color gamut, or in other words, it represents the most colors and the most saturation. The next one that's the most common one that we hear is RGB. Red, green, blue is what that stands for. And now that's a little bit smaller color gamut or a little bit smaller color space, but still almost fills what the human eye can represent or interpret. And of course, the third one is sRGB, and that's a smaller color gamut and less colors, less saturation, obviously. So, what you want to, so these are the three terms that you want to be familiar with, or at least when you hear them, understand what that means. So let's go back to this. So again, so the other thing is there's another one called, again, CMYK, sRGB, RGB, and Pro Photo. Now, CMYK is used for printing, offset printing. So for example, if you print a book or something like that, that's what the printing system uses, and it stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. But we don't really use that per se. I mean, again, that's only in the printing world. So the stuff that you're mostly going to deal with is sRGB, RGB, and Pro Photo. So these are the color spaces that you need to be aware of. And the issue is when do you use one over the other? Okay. As I said before, every device uses a color, like a printer. A lot of inkjet printers print in sRGB. Well, if you send it an RGB file, then it has to somehow understand how to deal with that. So what's created is called an ICC profile. And this profile is like a converter or a translator, and it translates the colors in RGB to sRGB. It'd be the same thing in a monitor. When you calibrate your monitor, you have a little device that you put over the monitor, and it calibrates it and it looks at the colors, and it creates an ICC profile so it knows how to map a true RGB color to whatever your monitor can represent, because it's not everything is exactly the same. So Make it the easy answer is shoot in the widest color gamut that you can. If your camera will shoot in pro photo, which the more the higher end cameras will do, then shoot in that mode. If it'll shoot in RGB, then shoot in RGB. And the reason I suggest that is because it's like a negative. You want to capture as much information as possible in your camera or in your negative. And even though you have to, if you convert it down, put it on the internet or print it into an sRGB format, you still now have that large gamut of those colors to deal with originally. And so you can always go down, but you can't go up. So again, I hope this has been helpful, and that next time we'll cover another topic. If you have a question, be sure and post it on the group or email it to Lee@photomentor.tv, and we'll try to address it next time. Thanks for watching.